I've been way too busy. I have homework to do. I work too much. I have no energy. I feel uninspired. I just want to relax. I don't live in a very picturesque area. These are some of the excuses I've used to justify why I haven't gone on a photography adventure in more than 2 years. The truth is, those really are just excuses. Sure, I've been focused on school and working full-time. I have been tired. I do live in a very flat state, but in reality, I can make time. I've been feeling very stagnant in life, and yes, uninspired. I've been in a bit of a creative rut without expression, and I'd really like to change that. And it starts with reigniting and cultivating the passion I've created for photography. Today, I'm going to go on my first photography adventure in more than 2 years. Let's go.
There we go. Takeoff permitted. Hello.
So as you can see, I've done all the imports and I've actually gone through and edited a little bit. I've basically sorted through some of the ones that I kind of liked more than the rest. Yeah, so let's kind of do a little bit of editing and see if we can enhance any of these images, make it feel a little bit more like how it really felt when I was there. See if we can find anything really good that I'd like to take a look at. See this right here? This is definitely an interesting image. I do kind of like the sun pattern right here. Actually looks quite pleasing because you got the rays and I don't know, it's not a whole lot of detail in the shadows you can see. It's a small sensor, kind of like a cell phone sensor from 2016 on this camera, but it's not bad and it's actually pretty good. So I'm just gonna take a look at this image and see if I can make this into anything interesting. I kind of like to start by looking at what auto would look like, and that kind of makes it, I don't know. Adds more contrast than I would like. I kind of prefer the natural look of this. I'm gonna bring up the shadows a little bit more. Yeah, maybe bring the whites up. Yeah, I don't like the blacks down like this because that's just too grungy. I want the blacks to be more neutral. Too much contrast and that looks more grunge than I would like. Too little contrast and now we're faded. So I'm just gonna keep it neutral. I'm gonna keep it neutral at 0. Maybe a little bit of vibrance to add a little bit more color. Saturation is fine as it is. I tend to like the clarity slider a little bit to add a little bit of pop to it. I quite like how it looks right now. Actually adding a little bit of blue. Then from there, I mean, there's nothing fancy about this image. It just looks a little bit better. I do like that. I'm gonna give it a star at 2. I did edit this, but I intentionally did a vertical image by just capturing 3 separate images. One of the sky, one of the middle right here, and then one of the actual water. I combined them by just clicking them all, right click, photo merge, panorama right there. I think I did HDR panorama, and then I think I clicked auto settings. Highlights are already down all the way. I thought I captured more detail in that sky, but the first thing I want to do is level that horizon. Oof, nope, pass. Okay, well, crop, tilt it a little bit. That horizon's much more level. Okay, so I'm actually going to bring this down a little bit because I don't need that much in there, and that kind of brings the bridge right here kind of into the lower third and brings the actually right about there. I do like that framing right there. I think it's fine as it is. That's not a bad image at all. So I kind of got sidetracked a little bit, and I did edit this image. Basically, I cropped it down to 4:3. I added a little bit of color over here, just a little bit more blue. Yeah, it's quite nice as it is. I just wonder if it's a little bit too saturated in the blues. I might bring it down just a little bit. -10 looks good. All right, so I think that actually looks pretty nice as it is. And this right here, I basically just copied the settings from this one, put it on this one, and I mean, I'm gonna have to crop this image. I don't like the way it looks. So let's see what happens if I just kind of make it a vertical image. Will that look good? Actually, I quite like the way that looks. Yeah, because you kind of got some leading lines with the, all of that stuff. I don't know, nothing fancy, but it is cool. All right, so I did get some interesting images over this way. I was like all sorts of fixated on the bridges. I turned the drone around and I saw this beautiful patch of green grass highlighting the highway right here against these dark like farmland. I did take some interesting images like this right here. I do like that. All right, so this right here looks pretty good, but I'm going to crop the image a little bit more square. Let's do 1:1. See how that looks. I actually quite like that. Oh, I took some selfies. So I did bring it back up after dark, and these are all just silhouette images. I do kind of like the composition of this one right here, but if I bring up the shadows, yeah, no, hard pass. See, I love the sunset glistening off the river right here. I did do a vertical crop with this one. This is definitely a nice image. And this right here, got both bridges right here. I exposed for the sky for this one, brought up the blacks a little bit, and, having a little bit of depth right there is nice. Technically, it's not the cleanest image, definitely, but it is still pretty cool. And I wonder what it would look like with a decent crop. Yeah, I was shooting in 16:9 as a mistake. Make it smaller. See, this looks better. That's a decent composition, and I'm actually going to bring down those shadows a little bit more, and just a little bit of depth right there. I actually really like that image. I think I got some interesting images. Every month, I'm going to try to make it a point to go on at least one little photography adventure. I'm going to find a beautiful place in the area, and I'm just going to capture at least one beautiful image. I'm also going to make it a point to make a little video about these adventures and hopefully share my personal passions and struggles for photography along the way. Staying consistent on these will hopefully help me cultivate my own personal passion for photography, but maybe it'll inspire somebody else. I have no idea. I just want to express my personal passion because I really haven't done that in way too long. It's time. These aren't going to be anything fancy. I'm not going to make any beautiful, wonderful cinematic transitions. They're just going to be easy, simple, clean, minimalist videos. I think it's going to be a good way for me to express my passion for photography.